Welcome to SVGTV News for Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Drought conditions can severely impact agriculture production and livestock rearing in the country. And with this in mind, Senior Agriculture Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Kamaru Brown, is urging farmers across St. Vincent and Grenadines to make use of the rivers and invest in water pumps. Brown was a panelist on the Police Beat program last evening, discussing the implication of drought should it take place in the country this year.
Now we talk about when we speak specifically about drought. Now there's the crop segment and there's the animal segment.
Correct.
Now the impact varies. Now for crops, because there's a scarcity of water, we see that plants would wilt, plants would die off. We see smaller fruit sizes, and sometimes if drought is if it's very long, we can start to see scarcity of some vegetables and some tree crops. Now, in the case of animals, the impact is slightly different, where animals need water. It doesn't matter what conditions they're grown on, whether it's intensive, semi-intensive, or open field pasture. They need water to survive. They need water to regulate their temperature. Now, normally what we have with drought is that we also have heat. And the excessive heat, it impacts the production system. Like, for example, cattle. You would observe that cattle would seek shade during the middle of the day because it's too hot for them to be out. They start getting, they have a similar structure to us. So they experience the same heat that we feel.
According to the SVG Med Services, it is forecast that SVG may experience drought conditions at the end of March. Forecaster at the SVG Med Services, Desiree Neverson-Jack, who is also a panelist on the program, explains that St. Vincent and Grenadines is at a point of a possible drought watch, as rainfall recorded for this month is similar to that of 2010, when the country experienced a long period of drought.
Firstly, it is a forecast. And secondly,
yes,
when dealing with a drought forecast or a drought outlook, the adverse effects are not felt until the end of the forecasted month. In this case, March. I can say that as of now, February, at the Argyle International Airport, we have recorded 2.9 millimeters of rainfall. Have we ever recorded such a low amount? Yes, we have. We recorded that in the year 2010, in the very same February month. It's the driest month on record for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It was also a year when we experienced drought.
Neverson-Jack further explained how drought is being monitored at the Met Office.
What happens is that we produce 6 months SPI drought, 6 months SPI based drought alert maps. Now, SPI stands for Standard Precipitation Index, and I do not want to get into it here.
yes,
It's
yes.
just an index that is used to measure drought, right? So
Yes.
simply put, we forecast short-term drought, which is 6 months. And we also forecast long-term drought, right? 12 months SPI-based drought alert maps, which is a year. So short-term drought, long-term drought. That falls under drought forecasting. And the other one is drought alert. Now,
Yes.
I want the public to picture a map of St. Vincent, just an outline of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Engineer technician with the Central Water and Sewage Authority, the CWSA, Value Richards, said water rationing is one of the most effective techniques the company used during the dry season or drought period. Richards said persons can lose their water connection if they fail to comply with the company's water rationing advisory.
CWSA would have been
preparing for years prior to now. And so we usually conduct water rationing techniques. So in essence, our systems, we have 21 major rivers. But from these 21 major rivers, we have 11 surface water intakes, which will supply water to 8 water district areas. Okay? And all these systems are interconnected. And in a case like this, water rationing begins.
Yeah.
Because we also, along with water rationing, we put out publications to our customers concurrently while rationing water to sensitize them.
Richard said customers of the CWSC are also encouraged not to waste water during the dry season.
The running of taps, and I know a lot of persons can relate to this, the running of taps during brushing your teeth or taking showers,
Yes.
right? We ask our public to report leaks on distribution lines, reduce starting forest fires during dry period, because this also would affect our water storage adversely, because it puts a strain on our water storage when the fire department has to go and out a fire. All right.
Yes. All right.
Yeah? And I must touch on this point. During our dry period, which starts in December and it ends in May, we actually urge our public to desist from the washing of vehicles and watering plants via the use of a hose.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB Monetary Council, chaired by SVG's Minister of Finance, Camilo Gonzalez, was recently engaged in discussions with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, Managing Deputy Director Bo Lee and other IMF representatives at a news conference following the 107th meeting of the Council in St. Kitts last Friday. Minister Gonzalez said the dialogue centered on the progress and challenges within the Caribbean region, along with the policies offered by the IMF to support the region's developmental goals.
Both the central bank and IMF officials agreed that the partnerships with the international financial institutions and other stakeholders are needed to advance climate action, adaptation, and finance at the regional currency union level. The central bank has already made steps towards greening the ECCU financial system, and collaborations with institutions such as the World Bank Group and NDC partnership are bearing fruit to ensure that the right framework policies are in place to facilitate this continuing greening of our economy. The Monetary Council acknowledges the strong representation and advocacy on behalf of the region by IMF Executive Director Mr. Philip Jennings and his constituency office. The Council thanks Mr. Jennings for his tireless service and looks forward to continuing the fruitful partnership between his office.
Minister Gonzalez also noted that they agreed to convene the 108th meeting of the Monetary Council in mid-July in Anguilla, immediately following the handing over ceremony to mark the change in chairmanship of the ECCB Monetary Council. In other local news now, we hear that the National Insurance Services, the NIS, is advising pensioners who receive their pension payments via check that their checks must be collected at the NIS office in Kingston on Friday, February 23rd, 2024. Pensioners are asked to submit a bank or credit union account during their visit to facilitate their pension payments. The institution says failure to do this will result in delays to your pension payments going forward. The institution says if a pensioner does not have an account, it will work along with them to provide the necessary assistance to facilitate the opening of one. Accordingly, as a pensioner, you are asked to walk with at least 2 pieces of ID once they are available. In preparation for the increase of its minimum pension effective March 1st, 2024, the NIS says provision of an account is necessary to ensure efficient processing of payments and thank its valued pensioners for their understanding during this time, noting that the institution remains committed to providing all necessary assistance or addressing any concerns. The 30th anniversary celebrations for Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as parliamentary representative for the North Central Windward constituency continued today in South Rivers. A ceremony was held at the South Rivers Methodist School for the Prime Minister, where he was presented with specially made cards by students of the school.
Oh, this is really beautiful. All you really want to make me cry this morning? Oh, this is wonderful. With all the children's names.
On behalf of grade 1, we present this card to you and happy anniversary.
Yeah. Thanks, dear.
Good morning, Prime Minister. I would present this card on the behalf of grade 3. I would now read the card. Oh, great leader, oh, leader of the nation, wise and true, your dedication shines in all you do. With vision and courage, you guide our land through challenges and triumphs hand in hand. Your words inspire, your actions speak loud, you stand firm and proud. Admire the crowd, with grace and strength you lead the way, through darkest nights and brightest day. In times of need you lend a helping hand, bringing hope and unity across the land. Your compassion and kindness never fade. In your leadership we find solace and aid. We thank you, Prime Minister, for all you bring. Your commitment, your service make our hearts sing. May your wisdom and leadership forever shine in our hearts and minds for all time.
Thank you very much, Eliza. The beautiful card, very beautiful. Thank you very much. And they make this themselves. Yes.
The Prime Minister was also congratulated by other residents in the constituency who praised him for his leadership and service to the people.
The education revolution by Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and the Unity Labour Party has provided the opportunities for us to build a better mousetrap so that each student can find a niche market for their particular aptitude, putting an end to the failure syndrome. And I can talk about all the different areas that education was addressed.
South Rivers, I know, is, I would say, a birthplace or one of the hallmarks of his career in terms of politics. And what he has done in this constituency is remarkable. His perseverance in politics is phenomenal. He has led this country through hard and dark times. The issue of one of his greatest achievements, I can say, is the building of the Argyle International Airport. You have to be a great leader in terms to build an airport of that magnitude.
There was a rivalry between Parkhill and South Rivers. Parkhill was Labour, South Rivers was PPP. And when Dr. Gonsalves came, he took over all the votes from Ebenezer Joshua. So until this day, I'm still with the comrade. And South Rivers is still with the comrade. I always say, if it wasn't for South Rivers, comrade would have about of politics. South Rivers is the only place that hold them their weight with the comrade. So I think the rest of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, North Central Windward, because we are in North Central Windward, a lot. Because all the progress in St. Vincent and what the comrade have provided, they owe something. Thank you very much.
Thanking the people for their support and gesture, the Prime Minister said the event was a surprise to him.
I decided that I would come into the constituency today and visit the schools and visit one or two other persons, because tomorrow is the actual 30th anniversary of my first election in 1994 on February the 21st as the Member of Parliament for this constituency. I went to Park Hill. I'm here. I will go to Byra and then Georgetown, and the last one in my home village in Connery. I didn't expect this at all, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and it was very moving, and many times I had to wipe my eyes because, you know, though I am tough in law, in politics, in the parliament, may I water close when things touch me.
Last Friday, the Prime Minister handed over monetary donations totaling just over 30,000 EC dollars to 11 of the primary and secondary schools in the North Central Wynwood constituency as part of his 30th anniversary celebration as MP. And leader of the opposition and president of the New Democratic Party, Dr. Godwin Friday, and member of Parliament, Senator Siobhan John, have traveled to the United Kingdom to take part in an international conference promoting women's participation in politics. Dr. Friday is expected to return home on Friday, February 23rd, and Senator John a few days later. A news release from the NDP quoted Senator John as saying, "I am pleased to have been invited to participate in this important conference. Focusing on this crucial issue, we need to do everything possible to bring more women into the political process. This is an opportunity to discuss how we can encourage greater involvement for women at every level of politics and ensures that political parties seek out a best practice to encourage and support women." Unquote. The news release said the party's leader, Dr. Friday, welcomed the opportunity to participate in the event to learn from and share experiences with other parties from around the world. The fact that the voice of young persons are now being considered at the highest level of decision-making in the country is a big step in their development. This is according to advisor to the Prime Ministerial Youth Advisory Council, Shackle Bob, who on NBC Radio Face-to-Face program said that they have been holding consultations with the relevant authorities to try and collaborate with others to deal with the issues affecting the nation's youth. Bob said there are a number of activities and progress in the pipeline to be undertaken by the Advisory Council, including a Youth Excellence Award, a business fairs, and youth summits.
We have an activities calendar. We are looking to see when is the best time to have certain events still. So we have been working towards what we have put down on paper, and you can expect from the Youth Advisory Council a number of advocating activities, those just to get the feedback from the youth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as to what the issues are that are really affecting them. What we are really trying to do, we are trying to, as you know, our motto says, balance experience with youth. So by virtue of doing our consultations and going out and doing the requisite research for following the proposal that we have made to the cabinet, we have a number of activities, but once you follow our social media page, you will be updated as to what is in store.
On how the council will benefit other young people in the country, another member, Christian Mafford, said the vision is to create or develop a multifaceted economy with the involvement of the youth.
As we know, the youth are our future, right? The objectives of the council, we will be looking to advise the government, advocate on planning, development, implementation, integration of policies. We're looking to get projects, programs concerning the youth for development, consulting with youth across the nation, have government agencies on issues and policies concerning youth. We'll be looking to enhance competence, wealth creation, technical skills across multiple facets, monitor, evaluate legislation to see how it could be improved, re-engineering for better and greater efficiency, and just incorporate generally the voices of youth throughout the nation.
Meanwhile, Advisor Bob used the opportunity to urge the nation's youth to get involved in activities to help advance themselves and other youths across SVG.
Our youths to be more forthcoming and to be more involved in advocating for themselves and for other persons, because we may not know where our talent lies in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as it relates to youths. As you know, we have different sectors. We have different sectors for a reason, because we want to be able to incorporate youths, a particular person where their expertise is. You don't necessarily have to have a university degree. You could be a culturally artistic person. You are still eligible to be on the council. So we are just inviting you to be a part of it, to make an impact. And I would like to publicly say thank you to the current committee and the sectoral chairpersons, because they have been very helpful, they have been very engaging, and you can feel the positive energy that is coming out of this particular council.
The Prime Ministerial Youth Advisory Council was approved by Cabinet in September 2023. The aim is to enhance youth involvement in general decision-making in the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The council has 29 members, with a core committee of 11 members and 18 sectorial chairpersons. Although it has already been launched, a social media launch is expected to take place on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. The Kingstown Prep School activities for Literacy Week this year is being held under the theme Read What You Write. Today's activity include reading by students in kindergarten, older students reading for those in kindergarten, and parents reading for their children. The students also did drama and recited poems. Here's a snippet of the KPS Literacy Week activities today.
Read what you write. Everybody read. Everybody read. Reading is enjoyable. Reading is enjoyable. Let us read.
Look at the teacher.
I read what you write. Enjoy what you read. Answer your question. Discover. I can see a cat. It is big and fat. Let us play with the big fat cat. Come, Buster, come. Look up there. Look up at us. Get the mango. Come and look. I can see a mango. The big red car. I can see a car.
Crawls to the floor. The lizard eats a scrap of food. It crawls around. I chase it out. It runs very fast. It finds the door.
There was always something fun to do at my grandmother's house. One of the best parts of my visits is that she always had a story to tell or a present to give me.
If you want to succeed on your bed or in the car, reading takes your imagination far. Up in space or under the sea, to a land that's imaginary, with monsters and fairies too. That's what a book can do for you.
S, study hard to be at the top. C, classwork makes you learn new topics. H, homework helps you understand better. O, obedient students are teachers' favorite.
Why didn't you know? He has terrible tusks and terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. Where are you meeting him? use rocks, and his favorite food is roasted fox. Okay?
Let's go. Kim has a puppy. His name is Slim. Kim says, "Good puppy." You want to see the puppy? Yeah. What color it is? White. Nice, good. Kim puts down a bowl. Kim says, "Come and drink Slim." Where's Slim? By the door.